Hello and welcome. If you are a Border Patrol agent applicant, the final offer is a very exciting time for you. And today we're going to talk about how to select your duty station when it comes time for your final offer, and what homework you should already have done beforehand that will make your final offer and duty selection process way easier. It will also increase your chances of getting the station that you would like. So at the end, I'm going to share a couple of different strategies so that you can help determine the best route for you. So before we get started, I want to bust a myth that a lot of Border Patrol agent applicants have. And that is when they're going through the Border Patrol agent application, after they have read the job announcement and they've applied, there is a big list of stations that they ask you to choose from. What is your top or most desired station? So the station you choose on your application is not the station that you are generally going to be offered for your final offer. On the application, they're just trying to see who's interested in what. So your application preference does not matter at all in your final job offer. They're not trying to match certain applicants with certain stations and nothing like that. When it does come time for your final offer, they will show you in the portal a list of what is available, and you'll be picking from that. So it's not based on your preference at all. It's not tailored to you. It really has nothing to do with you. It's just what CBP has available at that time. So the most important takeaway from that is you need to have a plan going in so that you can use every advantage you have a list of different strategies that you can use to try to help you get your ideal duty location. So one place that a lot of applicants go wrong is they think that when they get their final offer and they see a list of stations, they believe that those stations are reserved for them and that they're basically on hold until they make their choice, and then the list moves to the next applicant. And it is not at all like that. The list is live. And I'm going to share an example with you of an applicant that had a very desirable station in his portal. He was interested in Casa Grande and stepped away from his computer to have a discussion, came back, and he hit the refresh button. And when you hit the refresh button, it removes the stations that you have and repopulates the list. So in the time that he had gone away from his computer, somebody else took the station that he was after. So don't make that mistake. Don't sleep on it. Don't walk away. Don't ask other people's opinion. A lot of time I'll see applicants that have the final offer and they're posting in the forums or posting in the different groups. That is not the time to do that. The time to research your station is way before you have your final offer. So how are you going to know that your final offer is ready? Obviously, you can check your portal, and that's generally what a lot of applicants do, but you're also going to get an email from CBP. It's going to be CBP, final offer alert, and if you have your notifications turned on for whatever your email provider is, you can actually have it set up so you'll get like a pop-up on your screen, which is really handy. That means you can get in there into the portal pretty quick and not have to wait until you go and check the portal. It'll be there in your email. So let's go ahead and talk about what the portal actually looks like. So you will notice in the portal that you will have stations listed on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side are the categories, whether or not the stations are incentivized or not. If it says yes, then that station is a hardship station, and there is the potential for that additional $10,000 hiring bonus. So that is what that secondary column is. And you may also want to kind of move the slider on your location so you can see the full text of the different city and then actual duty location. So the list is not organized in any way, shape, or form. They're all jumbled together. It's not alphabetical. It's not by state. They don't have all of the hardship locations in one location and the rest in other places. You're just going to have to go through and scroll and see if you can find your station in there. And the way this works is you get to pick one station total. Even though it'll show you different pages of stations, you don't get to pick one station per page. You pick one station out of all the pages, and that is going to be your duty station. After you get done choosing your station, then it will bring you to another screen where you are able to select your class date. And some people want class dates right away because they're ready to go. Other people feel like they need a little bit more time to prepare, and so they choose a class date that's a little bit further away. If you want to kind of work the station strategy system a little bit, choosing a date that's a little bit further out will give you that flexibility. And I talk a lot about that in my other video, the one-time call. So if you want to get information about all the different strategies that you can use to try to get your ideal station. I highly recommend you go check that video out, even when you're doing your research, and note down the different strategies that you might want to use, such as a portal refresh. So another thing you could do is not to choose any station. Just because they're asking you to doesn't mean you have to. You could technically let that task run out. And that's another strategy for some applicants that it works in their favor because it triggers the hiring center to call them back. And they actually get to talk to a person on the phone and let them know what their preferred station is. That can be a strategy that can be really great for some people. I highly recommend that you have done your research ahead of time. You know what stations you want to go to. You know what your top couple of sectors are and your top stations within those sectors, so that when you get that list, you know exactly what you're looking for. And if you don't see what you want on that list, you know what strategy you're going to employ. Some people will go ahead and choose a station that they're okay with, but it's not their most desired station. And they'll select that, and then they'll select a class date that's further out that will give them a little bit more time to work some of these other strategies, like the one-time call, for example. So after you select your station, pick your class date, and depending on your own situation, you may want to pick something closer, you may want to pick something further away to kind of give you time to work that. But the biggest takeaway from this should be do your research ahead of time. Know where you want to go, know what strategies you are going to attempt to employ before you get your final offer. Because there's a lot of different strategies that you could use, and I recommend having a couple of ideas about what those are. So understand exactly what you're looking for, because you really only have a few minutes theoretically before your top choice could be gone. And if you're looking at a station like McAllen or any place in RGV really that's not a hardship station, Tucson a lot of times goes fast, Casa Grande, any of the stations that are highly desired. And you'll know that by your research. You'll understand that if you're getting online, if you're getting in the groups, and you're doing your research on your stations. Understand if where you're wanting to go is one of those highly desired areas, and be ready to grab that station right away, secure it. Don't walk away. Don't refresh your list. If your station is not on the list, don't panic. Just make sure that you have a plan, execute the plan that you made before getting your final offer. And if you're not sure what that is or what strategies are available to you, I highly recommend that you check out that one-time call video. It's got several of them in there, and it's going to help you to feel more informed and more likely to get the station that you desire, or even know if that's a possibility. Because let's face it, there are some stations, Corpus Christi, for example, that are just not generally ever offered to brand new hires. So that's why it's so important to do your research. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.